It was a summer's night when Jake and his girlfriend Sarah, who loved trying out new places, were on a road trip through California when they found a relatively empty campsite. When they found it, they were happy to have found such a quiet campsite, because even though they could have camped anywhere in the woods if they wanted to, they found it safer to camp in a campsite that even had another camp, or a few rather than no one, in case anything happened. Jake wouldn't have minded that much, but Sarah always preferred to have a bit of company around in case anything bad did happen. They decided to set up camp just across from where a family had set up theirs. Sarah felt safer knowing that the family were nearby just in case anything happened, but she was disappointed when they had told her they had to make a visit to a nearby family for a birthday party, and they were already running late. But they would be back early in the morning. Jake and his girlfriend set up camp, lit a fire, made dinner, and then just talked for an hour and eventually went to bed. Sarah wrapped herself warm around Jake and could hear the crickets in the woods. She found herself getting anxious, thinking of the horror movies herself and Jake watched most weekends. Eventually she fell asleep, but they were both awoken in the middle of the night by someone whistling outside their tent to the tune of When the Saints Come Marching In. They laid in utter silence, hoping the singing person would go away. They knew the family wouldn't be back until the morning, so it could not be them. They both looked at each other in horror as the whistling turned to chanting. When you sleep here, you disrespect me. When you disrespect me, you disrespect the US Marines. Jake and Sarah knew they had to get out. They quietly climbed out from their tent into their truck and drove to a motel in the neighbouring town. They talked for a while about it in the motel room until they eventually fell asleep. The next morning, they drove back to the campsite to retrieve the belongings they'd left behind. As they were leaving, they paused at a site down the road from where they had slept, where a couple were staying. The couple told Jake and Sarah that the singing had continued for another 2 to 3 hours after they'd left, and it was one of the creepiest things they'd ever experienced. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content.